Yeah, and it's like what let's say you take a property, a four family, right? Whatever the city, whatever the dimensions, let's say, hey, this could be a good deal as a house hacker, your first property. When I look at that property, I know what I see. If you have somebody else, you know, whatever their age, let's say that they're 23, 25, 28, whatever, 38, and it'd be the first purchase, they're going to see what they see. And you mentioned, well, I don't want to be sharing a wall with somebody else. That may be what someone sees. Whereas me or some of the other younger people who have taken these leaps, they see something completely different. They see a stepping stone to be able to buy the next property. They see numbers. They see values going up. Someone else pay my mortgage. They see value. They see, the breadcrumbs of building massive wealth. Like it's the same thing, just the perception or the perspective is just different. What they see, what they know, and what they understand, and what they're connecting those things to is different. And that's the part that, the more you learn, the more you surround yourself with people that are doing things. The whole like, yeah, you're the sum of the five people around you. It's a great rule of thumb. Um, but like at the end of the day, like when you're seeing somebody else doing something, it's like, oh, if they're doing that, maybe I can do it too, or maybe they can give me some pointers on how to be able to do that better, or not make the same mistakes. And so it's like, yeah, getting around people that are going to where you want to go, that that's what it's all about. If I could look back on things, I'd be trying to surround myself with, people that were, where I wanted to go.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I think that's, you know, especially in Hawaii, it's kind of a little bit of a lot of people are in the same neighborhoods that they grew up in. And I forgot, I saw a post or something about that, recently. I gotta look for it, but it's talking about, if you're still in that same, I guess, area or, people where you grew up, right? 20, 30 years later, a lot of times, you can maybe determine someone's financial situation by that. And I think that's a lot of it, like you're saying, getting in your comfort zone and not exploring or getting out there. And I definitely, made a lot of those mistakes. I was super comfortable. And like I said, I was in a bubble. I didn't really realize a lot of the things going on out there in the world.
I know. I know. And we both have kids. Your son's older than mine. And it's like, what is the job market going to look like in 10, 20 years? What types of jobs are going to be out there? Technology, AI, like hearing Elon Musk talk about AI and how, like, I was watching some video and I forget who he was talking to. Maybe it was Rogan, about how he, for years has been telling some of the people that have been kind of pushing the buttons and pulling the levers and kind of pushing AI to the next levels with some of these companies, telling them, we need to slow this down. We need to slow this down. And they didn't listen to him. Yeah. Like it's scary what can go on. Um, and then there's this one video, or clip from him talking about, some person that had a story published in the New York Times, like this human extinctionist type of mentality. They're like, this person believes that humans, us 8 billion people, we're bad and we're negative and we shouldn't be on Earth. Like, and this person's putting stuff out there. It's like he, not to get into politics, but this is what he basically said, talking about him taking over Twitter and X. That like San Francisco, Berkeley is some of the furthest left mentality out there. And they just happen to be in proximity to where a lot of the Silicon Valley and execs are, including Twitter. And you have this, isolated geographic area of this, certain sector of the range of political beliefs, good, bad, and different. It's just, we all have our own beliefs, whatever. And so then you have this giant megaphone of Twitter that's connected. And now you have all the stuff that's being, you know, through the government, basically limited in terms of the scope and what things were happening. And kind of taking it to that extinctionist standpoint, it's like, okay, if if you get the technology into the wrong hands, and if all of a sudden someone that's programming the technology, has this certain beliefs about humanity, then is humanity bad? Then AI could be go attack AI, kind of go attack humans, just like in Terminator, from the early 90s. Like, I don't know. There's just so many different levels, and all this stuff takes time. But like once you hit a certain button or hit a certain wave of it or level, sometimes you can't go back. So who knows?
Yeah, it's a strange times we're in right now, and there's a lot going on. And like you're saying, whether you're on one side or the other, it's everybody's entitled to their own opinions, and it's just. But I think it's more kind of just being aware of what's going on. I think a lot of people have an opinion when they're not really paying attention to what's going on, and they're basing their opinion just on what they're hearing or something they see, and they're not really following what's going on. And I definitely was like that, and I made opinions on things, and I didn't really know what was going on, but I just saw like the media or what was in the news, and that's where I based my opinion. And now I'm looking at it like, you know, I don't I don't know what kind of information the media is actually putting out there and what's their agenda and whatnot. So that's kind of where, like I said, being in a bubble and just opening up your mind and just thinking for yourself. I think that's super critical.
Yeah. Yeah. Being just, yeah, looking at the information and trying to be able to see it from every side you can. But not to kind of go down the rabbit hole, but like the reason I bring that up, all of that up is like, okay, in 10, 20 years, back to the whole idea of jobs and AI and things like that. It's like, the stuff that we teach our kids in the school that's important, how does that translate into what the demographics are going to look like from a job market in 10, 20 years? And so it's like having a job, it's important. Having the health insurance and 401k and all that stuff, the old kind of mentality. Um, but we're talking about real estate and house hacking and these building these things your own land to be able to build wealth. That way you have this other thing that's going, not just relying on a third party. I feel like that's more important right now than ever for everybody to be thinking about how can they be building something for themselves, their own lane that can grow and compound, whether it be real estate, a business, a this, I mean, whatever investment vehicle you can be thinking about and doing that's makes sense and safe. I mean, we like the pressure is on right now with inflation and the cost of living being so high. If you're not taking this opportunity to be able to find something to be able to put some extra time into to be building something for yourself, it's an opportunity that's missed, and that's something that we're talking about, something that I'm trying to do. And that's why we're here talking about this stuff.
Oh yeah. I think, however, I think that's a little bit of the struggle of having children, right? Because I think we're kind of in the same camp where maybe traditional schooling and that traditional path of going to college, getting a W-2 and whatnot, maybe not our most ideal plans, but for some people, that's what's best for them, right? That's maybe they just that works best for their situation, and that fits their personality better. So I think that's where I struggle a little bit is, you know, I don't want to push my son or say, hey, school's not important, and entrepreneurship and real estate, but then maybe the traditional path is better for him, his personality and whatnot. So I think that's the struggle is, you kind of got to find that balance because maybe going to school is the way for him, right?
100%. And I guess I'm saying this more without really giving the details of, yeah, like I'm talking about this on top of the basics. Like I got a job, I have a job, it pays the bills. So I mean, I wouldn't be able to do these other things without that job that I've had for years. So it's like kind of going back to the conversation that we had a couple weeks ago about the schedule of a firefighter, and you have your kind of 12 hour 24 hours on, 24 hours off, and kind of that open time you have, and it's like, well, what do you do with it? And not everybody's got that schedule, that type of structure. But like if you do want to explore these things, it's possible. If you don't, that's okay. Maybe it's not the right time, but people are doing it, and like that's the stuff that, like, if you want to learn more about it, there's plenty of people out there talking about it. And the other thing too is that, like, the other thing that's frustrating is that there's always a paywall. If you want to learn something, there's always a paywall or coaching or this or a program or this. And it's like, uh, fortunately, there's a ton of stuff on YouTube that you can get pretty damn far on YouTube with a topic or a niche or a business and get as far as you can, put the work in, learn the stuff. And then if you want to get to the next level or get there faster, yeah, then pay somebody. That's a whole different kind of conversation.
Yeah. Well, talking about traditional schooling and jobs, did you see the jobs report that came out?
I didn't see the jobs report,
Mm.
but I know the Fed signaled that they're going to be holding rates for a bit. And we
Yeah.
saw a major
So,
move in the bond yield down, which is good.
yeah.
What did the
Pre-
jobs report show?
Well, they did add jobs at a slower pace, but unemployment also ticked up for October. So I think, that's kind of what they're hoping for, right? That's their talking point, right? Is more the jobs data is really what's driving their decision making, I think, right now. Yeah.
So, and speaking of jobs, I'm talking to people every day. Some people that are in real estate, some people who are in whatever type of industry or job, and talking about housing and financing and things like that. So the people that I'm talking to is obviously a very, very small subset of the public. But a lot of people that I'm talking to are, you know, things are tight. Things are tight from a budget standpoint, and but people really aren't talking about it, out loud. They see people doing great on or see whatever on social media and this and that, and just not really talking about kind of the struggle and the pain that's really going on out there.
Well, that's an interesting point because, that's also where I sometimes, I think the younger generation, a lot of them just don't see home ownership. I mean, I know a lot of them want to own homes, but they see it as man, it's almost like a hopeless cause to
Mm-hmm.
try and get to that point. So it's like I'm gonna live in the moment and I'm gonna, just enjoy life and travel and do all these things. And I think that's where it's that kind of tug of war where how do you find that balance to plan for the future when maybe it seems a little bleak, but at the same time, you want to enjoy. And I struggle with that with my son also, is like, I want to make sure he has all these experiences, but at the same time, I want to make sure his future is set up well. And Sierra and I talked about that too. It's just finding out that balance of making sure that they get all these experiences, but at the same time,
I know
making yeah. So that's it's a struggle, man.
it really is. It really is, and it's like trying to figure out where do you put your priorities or put your buckets of okay, we're going to put money in a savings or retirement or this or that, and then this money is for this. Like having kind of that intentionality, is important. But like at the same time, it's very very challenging. And then you have there's always something going on, whether it be holidays or this or that. So,
Yeah.
um, and your son's what, 13?
Oh man, he's 8.
Oh, he's on. Okay, I
He
don't think
acts
he's
like he's
13.
13,
Okay,
man.
okay. Um, what are some of the things that I mean, you don't want to throw stressful things on an 8-year old, but like, do you guys talk about any things in terms of like money or real estate or spending or budgeting or?
Well, it's funny you bring that up because we kind of had a little discussion yesterday because we came home from school and I tell him you gotta empty your lunch bag and put the ice packs in the freezer so it's ready for the next day. And I saw him throw something away, and I was like, that, and I knew it was like snacks that weren't even open. It was sealed, and he threw it in the trash. So I was like, what are you doing? And so he's like, well, it's the same thing as if you eat it, it goes in the trash. And I'm like, but you didn't open it. So, we kind of we're having this discussion about, it costs money to buy things, and you're fortunate to have snacks and have lunch at school and these type of things. And same thing, he's still trying to process, like, because he doesn't see us buying, I guess, school lunch or whatever. So it's kind of like he's still trying to get that concept of everything costs money, and you have to have money to buy certain things, like his video games or his breakdancing classes and things like that. So yeah, we had a little discussion about wasting things and just, throwing away food, like good food, like snacks that weren't
Hmm.
even open. So it's a struggle, but it's definitely yeah, trying to, and like I said, I mean, I probably didn't even learn about these things in high school and what, but it's just understanding, the flow of money and how things work. And, because like I said, we always talk about it. It's almost like it's evil to talk about money, or it's wrong to talk about money, or, people think money is bad, but it's just a tool, right? It's a tool, and it can solve a lot of problems, right? It can, if you have money to pay for lawn care, right? You save time, right? Or you pay
Hmm.
someone to clean your house, right? It affords you all these things that can save you time to enjoy more things or spend more time with your family. And that's the way you got to look at it, as far as money just being a tool to give you more time or more freedom.
Yeah. And it's a process too, right? Like, you know, you mentioned this example of the snack thing, and you know, there'll be other things that pop up along the way, and
Yeah, I
different
was
things that pop up, different
like,
times.
man, I'll eat that. What are you doing? But yeah.
Yeah, and our boys are picky. Like, if you
Oh,
don't
yeah.
do it in the right way, in the right order, I mean, certain like, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's also a struggle, too,
Cause
was
I mean, I
wasting
used to
some
eat
food.
school lunch every day. Like it's like, okay, but he will not touch school lunch. Like so you gotta send him to school at lunch every day, but he will not. Yeah. I mean, maybe like one thing, like hot dog, when there's hot dog, but I'm not gonna look through the calendar for the lunch schedule but there's like one thing he'll eat. So it's just like, yeah, they're picky nowadays, man.
I mean, like we're talking like, okay, corn dog, right? Corn dog. One of the kids only eats the hot dog on the inside. They don't want the corn dog. Or there's also these pancake corn dogs with pancake on the outside that just wants the hot dog. The other one, when we go get donuts, literally have four donuts and I'll just eat the icing off the top. We won't touch the actual donut. We'll do a quesadilla and we'll just eat the cheese off the top. But the actual tortilla, no, no. It's just weird stuff. And if you don't do it in the right order, don't do it in the right this, that, just throw it on the floor.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure our parents probably said the same thing about us.
Hmm.
Like we were probably
Yeah,
picky
probably.
and
Yeah, yeah,
but yeah, it's a struggle finding that balance.
yeah.